Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Life Transformations Podcast. I'm your host, Leo, and today I have as a guest Colin, aka X Fat Guy 41 on Instagram, who has made a huge transformation in his own life, lost a lot of weight, but also uh, worked a lot on the mental side of things as well. And I've seen a lot of his content, and he's sharing both about practical things, but again also about a lot of the I guess psychology behind taking charge of your own life and weight loss and all of that stuff. So welcome, Colin.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me, Leo. Man, I never dreamed I would ever be on any kind of podcast or anything like that. So this is really cool, man. It's good to meet you.
Good to meet you too. Good to meet you too. So I guess maybe to start off, if you would like to introduce a bit about your story and yeah, your highest weight and how much you lost and all
Yeah.
of that, I guess. Yeah.
Sure, of course. Yeah. So at the end of 2021, I was working as a physical therapist, right? And my highest weight, I was 320 pounds. And I started my weight loss journey as a part of a New Year's resolution, right? We always hear those New Year's come around, and we all have big goals and things that we want to pursue. And I think back on that time in my life as a physical therapist where of course you're preaching to people the importance of exercise and mobility, um, and things like that, and I wasn't really doing that in my own life, right? So I work in a nursing home. I'm a physical therapist in a nursing home, and physically the job itself was very demanding and I could not hardly do it, right? You're having to lift people who can't stand. You're walking with people who can't walk. You are mobilizing people who are inherently not mobile. And at that weight, man, it was so difficult for me to do that and to perform, right? And I spent so much time in school learning about this and pursuing this. And then I finally graduated and I got out, and it was so hard for me to do, right? And I was married at that point in my life. We were not parents yet, but that was in the coming future, right? That was part of our plan. And I just remember thinking, at that weight, I wasn't sure that I could be any kind of dad that I wanted to be, right? I mean, not the version that I wanted to be. So I needed to change, and I had a sense of urgency, right? For my career, for my marriage, for my future as a father, I needed to change. So, um, man, I started so slow, right? January 1st, I remember me and my wife went to Walmart and we bought a scale, and I stepped on that thing and it said 320 pounds. And that was kind of a shock to me. I didn't really realize that it had gotten that bad. Um, and I just remember I can't do it all at once, but I've got to do something. So I started with walks around the block every day after I got off of work, right? Basic body weight exercises in my own home. I got a pair of resistance bands from the local, like sporting goods store, right? So I did some basic exercises there for about 6 months, right? And then after 6 months, then we moved out of our apartment. We moved into a rent house where then I bought some home gym equipment and things like that. Got more into strength training, but man, just small wins, right? And small changes with my diet, things like that, right? And I talk about on my page that I was so scared at the beginning of my journey that I didn't really tell anybody other than my wife, right? I didn't tell my coworkers, my friends, nobody, right? I was so scared of the thought that I would try so hard and I would put everything I had and still blow it and still mess it up. Um, Small changes. I remember I would take a sandwich for lunch every single day because I didn't think anybody would see that and think, man, look at him. He's trying really hard to lose weight, right? It was just an under the radar sort of thing. And um, small changes added up, right? And over the course of that year, I lost 160 pounds. Um, so yeah, man, my life has changed because of it. My marriage is better. I'm a father now. My career is so much better. It changed my life.
That's amazing to hear. That's amazing to hear. I mean, 160 pounds in 1 year is incredible. And the thing about, I can relate to a lot of what you said already. I mean, it's like the part about starting small is very similar experience for me too. Um, and Yeah, I mean, when I started, I basically started only with diet because I wasn't really able to do much training at all.
Yes, sir.
I was yeah, 463 pounds at my heaviest.
Right. That's
Yeah,
incredible, man. I mean,
yeah. So that's and I also had injuries in both knees basically, and yeah, no ACL in my right knee. So
I
yeah.
heard that on one of your podcasts, man. Yeah, that's amazing, right? I mean, but now look at you. I see you
Yeah.
putting on Instagram how many steps you're getting in a day. That's incredible, man.
Yeah, thank you. I have a record of 70,000 in a day. Yeah.
Holy smokes, man. That
Yeah.
is unbelievable, right? I saw that you said that you've walked a couple marathons, right?
Yeah, yeah. So six marathons at this point. I
Oh
walked.
my
Yeah, yeah.
goodness, man. That is incredible, man.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. But yeah, this was just to say that I didn't start. I couldn't do that before, right? So and
Right.
the first thing I started with was I started on a kind of keto carnivore diet and basically just eating meat for a while. And but
Right.
I can also relate a lot to what you said. Basically the only people that knew what I was doing at the beginning was my coworkers basically, and a couple of close friends that would see me every day.
Right.
My family lives far away, right? Because I'm from Italy, I live in Sweden, and
Yes, sir.
so I actually didn't tell my parents anything until I'd lost over 100 pounds.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's incredible. I can
Yeah.
imagine when they saw you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I didn't manage to visit there in between, so they actually saw me. Yeah,
Wow.
between the two times that they saw me, it was something like 250 pounds in between.
Holy smokes, man. I bet they didn't even recognize you, man. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah. So it is different, but I do relate to the fear, right? In a way, I kind of still deal with the fear of failure that is still sits in the background somewhere, right?
Yes, sir. Of
and
course.
and
Of course.
and so it's definitely much less now than it has been before. But I actually I see sometimes some people that start from like 500-600 pounds or whatever, and they start sharing their journey straight away. And actually um, I definitely understand why they do it, and I admire them for doing that. I wasn't that sure when I started off that I was gonna make
Same with me,
it.
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I see so many
yeah,
creators on Instagram and they're posting their journey along the way, and I
yeah,
commend them for that, man, because
yeah,
I mean, I think that is so cool. And but it was so different from my story, right? I did so much of it in secret, and
yeah,
that fear of failure kept me from doing that. It was years ago when I lost weight, and I'm just now really starting to talk about it. And I've shared some stories on my page that I really haven't told anybody, right? And it's been good for me to express that and just to get that off my chest and just think if there's anybody out there that can be inspired by anything that I say, it is so cool to do that. So
yeah. What you're doing is amazing, and it's never too late. It was just the right time.
yes, sir, of course.
But it's also amazing to hear like I guess we can get into a bit of your motivation, right? Because you mentioned it a little bit that you wanted to, I guess, be a certain kind of dad, and
Yes, sir.
you wanted to be basically a certain kind of man, and also, uh, of course, there was the work situation that you wanted to improve, but um, so there are several things, and that's usually the way it works out. But so would you say that the family was maybe the main thing that motivated you to change, or what was the main driver, I guess, that told you I have to do something different? It's
I think the family was a major, major part of it, right? And my wife and I have been together since we were 15 years old, right? We're high school
wow.
sweethearts. She has been my best friend for so, so long. She saw me at my best. She saw me at my worst, and she loved me the exact same. She treated me so, so well. And I just remember at that time period that she deserved so much more from me, right? Especially if we were going to have a family and have kids. I wanted them to have the best version of myself that I could truly provide, right? And I can't commend my wife enough for that. Am I still there? Did I cut out?
Just the video. I can
Uh-oh,
hear. Let's see. Yeah,
still
there we go.
there? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Leo.
Keep going. Keep going.
Um,
Yeah.
but of course, my wife has been my rock for the longest time, and I wanted to be, um, a dad that could get out and run around the yard with our kids and do all those sorts of things with them. And of course, I always heard that they learn through example, right? And they watch you so much. Um, and the version that I was at that time in my life was not something that I wanted my future kids to see, right? Making poor decisions, and I would come home from work and I would drink a couple of beers, eat some bad food, and just sit on the couch, right? And that's not the kind of person that I wanted to be. So, definitely, my family was definitely the major inspiration, and of course, my career as well, right? As a physical therapist, aside from it just being physically difficult to perform my job. I was a new grad clinician at the time where I had this sense of imposter syndrome, anyways, right? From what I hear is very normal as a new grad clinician. But that was so compounded by the fact that I was heavier, right? And I would preach to these patients the importance of exercise when I wasn't even doing it myself, right? So, definitely those were the two major components, right? And I had to have a sense of urgency because I had to correct it and I had to correct it fast, right?
That's incredible. That's incredible. No, yeah, and regarding what you're saying about kids watching you and so on, I mean, I've seen so many situations, including partially my own life, where what you're saying is completely true. That kids they will do what you do, not what you tell them.
Absolutely.
So I've seen that so many times, and you know, uh, I love my parents to death, but I've definitely inherited everything, all the small mistakes they will do. I've done them myself later.
Yes, sir. I get that, definitely.
So I know how that works out, right? So
Sure.
it's yeah, yeah. Um, it's having that. I think that's kind of one of the best motivations one can have is to be your best, not only for you but for others. I think that that inspires us to do more, because in a way, maybe it shouldn't be like that, but in a way, it's hard to be your best self only for you.
Of
Uh,
course, yeah. When there's
and
others in the play that are depending on you and counting on you, it's hard to say no, right? And yeah, I definitely agree with that.
yeah, yeah. So I have I have for myself a similar motivation. I mean, for myself, I don't have a family yet, and I don't neither a wife or kids, but that is something that I myself aim to do in my life. And I'm not getting any younger. I'm 38 at the moment, but
Yes, sir.
I still have that as one of my motivators, and I am trying to be exactly as you say, the best version of me that I can, so that if I do manage to start a family, that I actually can,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Of course. I
provide
can tell you,
provide the best from my side, right? So yeah,
of course, I can tell you're a great man, Leo, and you're a fantastic person, and you have such good nature. And the fact that you're doing this with so many people and sharing your story is incredible. I think so highly of you, and I completely understand your motivation there.
thank you so much. That's very
Of
kind. That's
course.
very
Yes,
kind.
sir.
And so I guess we got into some of the motivation behind the change. You got into some of how you started. If you went to if you were to like go through um, maybe even a bit more of your journey, like practically, how would you say what have been like the key things that helped you achieve what you did, right? Because I think this is important for people to hear.
Sure.
Like, yeah,
Of course. Yeah. At the beginning of my journey, I talked about I made some changes with my diet, but I wasn't truly tracking much of anything, right? And if I had to go back and change it, that would be something I would correct from the beginning, right? Because now I look back and I think that I was probably really really under eating at that point, and the weight just melted off of me, man. I lost weight so fast, but I felt terrible. My sleep was
Mm.
awful. I was irritable. Things were not going very well, with that respect, until 6 months into my journey. And then that's when I started strength training with weights, right? That's where I bought some home gym equipment. And then I also started tracking all of my macros, my calories, things like that. And my rate of weight loss definitely slowed quite a bit at that point. But of course, I got so much stronger. I felt so much better. I could show up to work and not feel like a zombie, right? I felt so much better. Um, so that was something that I would definitely correct from the beginning. And another thing was that I was kind of hesitant to do real um, strength training and things like that at the beginning. I did what I could right at home with resistance bands, but I was even so scared of like joining a gym, right? Um, and looking back now, I think that people probably would have been more accepting and encouraging than I thought. In my head, I just thought I would go to the gym and people would not support me, right?
Mm.
So I think that the gym community can be really beneficial for a lot of people. So I would change that as well. But strength training and resistance training, for me at least, I think should be priority number one, right? And then the steps and the cardio and everything after that is important, right? But I think the strength training should be priority number one.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. For me, the steps and cardio have become important only because of not being able to do it before.
Yes, sir. Of course, yeah.
So for me, it has come from that point, right? Otherwise,
Yes,
it's
sir.
not practically as important, but for me, it's kind of the use it or lose it kind of
Yes, sir.
mindset. So
For a lot of
so
your cardio, do you just get out and walk? I see you
I
doing
just
so many of
walk.
these steps. Yeah.
Yeah, I just walk. Yeah.
That's what I did for so long early on in
Yeah.
my journey, and it was so good for me just getting out, being outside. There was a point where I bought like a freestanding heavy bag from the sporting goods store, and
Yeah.
it was so cool to kind of learn about boxing, and it gave me something where I started watching it some on TV and following it some, and it kind of took my mind off of the grind so much, and it just opened my eyes up to a whole new world that I had never experienced before. So I think there was something to that as well. So that was a cardio that I did when I was losing weight. That was really really cool.
Cool.
So I think a key is finding something that you enjoy that you'll stick to, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And I think this applies both to diet, both to exercise, and all of that stuff. Is that you can have the perfect recipe for something, but if you only do it for 2 weeks and then give up, it's not going to give you anything. So
Absolutely.
so find something which is maybe 80-85% good and do it every week, and then the results will compound, right? And it will
Of course.
yeah. Yeah. Um, Great, amazing, amazing. So you started do resistance and strength training consistently after a while, and uh, yeah, yeah, and you did some, yeah. The boxing stuff is I've actually never tried myself, and
Man,
but
it's incredible. Yeah,
yeah,
I never dreamed it would be so hard. I mean, a couple minutes and I'm just dripping sweat, man. But it was really
yeah,
fun and something that was really cool. So
amazing, amazing. Um, so I guess something else I wanted to ask you is. From the mental side of things, I've seen that you share a lot about, um, yeah, I guess self-worth in a way, and showing up for yourself, like, and basically, I guess showing yourself that you're worth the effort, right? So, can you maybe, uh, yeah, I guess share a bit about that side and the conclusions
sure.
that you have come to, and yeah, yeah.
Of course. Yeah. There at that point in my life, I remember I just had um, such a lack of self worth, right? I talk about how I was a physical therapist. I went through school. I had all of the knowledge, but yet I was morbidly obese, right? And you know, there was such a lack of self-worth, and I didn't think I was valuable and worth it, man. I didn't think that that version of myself of being in shape it was something that I deserved, right? I don't know why I thought that, but I did. Um, and I had to build some confidence to at least some extent to get started, right? And then of course once you get started, you make some small wins, you start stacking up some small changes and some small wins along the way, and you build some more confidence, and then you start to realize, hey, I can do this, maybe I am worth it, right? And it was kind of an ongoing process throughout my journey, right? But at least to some extent I had to think and make a mindset change before I started that I was worth it and that I had to try, right? I had to change. Um, and that was incredible for me. The mindset shift in itself was just as impactful as the physical transformation, definitely. And it's carried over into so many other aspects of my life, right? My marriage, my work. I pursue more meaningful friendships with people because I'm more confident in pursuing those things, right? Where before I was so closed off, I never felt like asking how people were doing, how their family was. Um, I tell this story on my page about something that my mom taught me when I was a kid, and that is that every single person wears an invisible sign that says, "Make me feel important." Right.
Mhm.
And before I lost weight, I was never confident enough to truly do that. And now that I have lost the weight, I truly make it a point, and it's been on my heart so much to try to do that with people, right? I pass somebody in the hallway, I try to call them by name, I ask how they're doing, those sorts of things. So I have so many more meaningful relationships because of my mindset shift, just as much as the physical transformation as well.
Amazing, amazing. And also regarding the confidence, I think that I actually had this conversation with someone else recently too, and it's uh, I think in a way the confidence comes from just doing things more than some deep thought process. There is some thought behind it too, but I do think that most confidence comes from actually doing the things for yourself that you have to do to get to a better situation. I mean, you keep doing it even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't know why you're doing it, but it doesn't feel worth it. But if you just do it and you just keep showing up and just keep doing the things, then your confidence will rise. That has been my experience, and so I don't know what you think about that. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, I definitely agree with that, right? You learn by doing it, right? And small things, right? You start with a small walk or whatever it may be, and then you say, "Look, I can do this," right? Small wins, small things along the way, and like you say, showing up for yourself, whether you're sleepy, angry, tired, mad, sad, don't matter. Just do it and try your best, right? You may not succeed every single time, but trying. There's so much value in the fact that you just tried, right? And like you say, you build confidence along the way. That was definitely my experience as well.
Yeah, and as you're saying now, also, I think that uh, people believe maybe a lot that achieving goals is what makes you happy. And yeah, I do think that we are actually most alive when we are chasing something, right? Uh,
Absolutely.
so that's when we feel alive, when we have a purpose, when there is something we want to do, when there's something we want to achieve, something. So when we have achieved something, sure, that can feel good, but then what's next?
I am right there with you, man. I have always
Yeah.
been the kind of person, I have to have some kind of project or something that I'm working towards, right? Something has to be circled on my calendar that I'm working towards, right? If I have nothing to do, if I have nothing to fight, I'm going to fight myself, right? That's where I fall into these bad things like that. Well, I have to have something that I'm actively pursuing, right? And
Yeah.
after the weight loss and things like that, now I'm kind of putting that energy into this page for,
Mhm.
at least some of that energy into this page. And um, I'm always pursuing something like that. And there's some value in that, and pursuing something difficult and showing to yourself that you can do something hard, right? That you're at least you're going to try. There's some value in that for sure.
Definitely, definitely. So connected to that, then, so if I ask you in your current position, like, what are your current goals? What are you chasing right now? What are you working on? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, of course, I'm doing a little bit of, going back to the fitness side of things. I'm doing a little bit of a mini cut before the spring and the summer. Nothing too crazy, but just a
Mhm.
little bit there. Um, and, of course, growing this page. And man, so much of my time and energy is spent with my family, right? Um, we're making goals together as a family, and we're doing things outside, trying to get my daughter outside, and we're working in the garden and things like that, just to get her out of the house and doing things together as a family and something like that, right? That's my kind of current project with the spring coming up. We're planting some things and going to see how that goes. We've never really done that before, so that's something that we're pursuing right now, and we're really excited about and enjoy this beautiful weather.
Ah, sounds beautiful. Sounds
Yeah.
beautiful. All right. All right. So if somebody was, I guess, starting out, right? If somebody was right now obese or morbidly obese, and maybe they feel like they don't really know, they don't really maybe believe that they can change, or they don't really think it's possible, or they don't know where to start, maybe even just. So, what would be some advice you can give to someone who is trying to start with their weight loss? And yeah.
Yeah, of course, I would say, do what you can, right? It doesn't have to be all in right away. For years, I fell into that trap, right? I tried so many times to lose weight, and I would do so much so fast. I would go and do every exercise, I would do so much, and then I couldn't walk for a week, right? I would do so much so fast, and that never worked, right? Do what you can, small wins. Um, like we say, if you can walk, that's great. If not, do what you can, right? Little, basic exercises that you can do in the privacy of your own home. Small changes with your diet. Um, I think there's some value in finding your TDEE and going from there, right? You don't have to lose it all right away. Make some small changes with your diet and moving a little bit more, and go from there.
Great, great advice. Great advice. Um, so I guess my next question is actually if you feel like, is there something about your journey that I haven't asked you yet that you would like to share? Maybe that you have on your mind.
Uh, Not that I can think of. No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, yeah. Because then basically I was mostly going to open up, if you have any questions for me as well about my journey and about, yeah. So if there's anything you want to ask, and we can get into that too. So.
Yeah, I was curious about your ACL injury. After that happened, did you pursue some medical attention, or did you have surgery, or how did that go?
Great question. So I haven't had surgery yet.
Okay,
I will probably have to at some point. I actually have a doctor's appointment in about a month from now, and we're going to
okay,
discuss, yeah, where we're
I
at
see.
and what's the next steps are. So
Sure.
basically, I mean, I injured my ACL in my right side when I was just walking down the stairs when I was around my heaviest,
Right,
and
I heard that on one of your podcasts. Yeah.
yeah, so and it just snapped. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. Does it still give you pain? Does it hurt? Like when you get out and walk all these steps, does it bother you?
It doesn't actually hurt most of the time. Very
Right.
rarely it hurts a bit, but it's mostly very unstable, right? So,
Sure.
but I have built a lot of strength around it, all the ways that I can, and
Yes, sir.
so it's kind of like the ligament is not doing its thing, but the muscles are working instead. So I guess that's
Right. Right.
I do sometimes say that my knee is keeping together with hopes and dreams, but yeah. Uh, uh, so I mean, when I injured myself, the thing was also like, I couldn't get surgery because they don't do it when you're that heavy, right?
Right.
So
Right.
so because that was maybe the time when I would have wanted to do it most, because then I was basically at the beginning of my weight loss journey at that point, and I was thinking, okay, maybe we can get the knee fixed, and then at the same time as losing weight, then the knee can recover as well, and then I
Yes,
get
sir.
two birds with one stone. But they wouldn't do that basically. So yeah, and then once I had lost the weight, I had a new doctor's appointment. But at that point of time, when I just lost all that weight, I felt myself that I didn't want to do surgery right then and there because I
Right.
wanted to keep training, right?
Of course. Yeah.
Because it's an ACL surgery that we're talking like a 1 year recovery, right? So
It's a major deal. Right.
yeah, yeah. So it's not, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was just curious about that. Yeah, I heard you tell the story about you injuring it, but I wasn't sure if there was any rehab involved or anything like that.
Yeah, so just a lot of yeah, physiotherapy, I guess, and I mean,
Right.
I found my own ways. So I mean, it yeah, I mean, it took me basically 1.5 years to get back
Yeah.
to doing stairs normally.
Right. Right. I commend
Uh,
you for that, man. That's incredible that you did all of that without an ACL, man. That is so
yeah,
impressive.
yeah. So I mean, I was working with a step board like crazy.
Right. Right.
You know, started at the lowest just because you have normally three settings on these step boards, right? So
Right.
started at the
Right.
lowest and then step ups and step downs and so on. And
Right.
then
Right.
and then more and more repetitions. And then when I felt like, okay, I got this at the lowest, and I go to the middle and then to the highest. And the
Sure.
highest step board is a bit more than a normal step, basically, right? So
Right.
so then you train that. And yeah, I've also doing a lot of I still do the ATG split squats. uh, I
Yeah.
don't I don't know if you're familiar with knees over toes guy.
Yes. Yeah. I have
Yeah,
seen him on
yeah,
there, man. He puts out some great stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I do follow him, and I remember the first time I saw him, I thought it was a gimmick.
Right. Right. Yeah. Me too, man. It's so opposite of everything that we were taught for so long. Right. It's so cool what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then actually the reason why I started following him and I started doing those exercises is actually because I saw his interview with Dr. Mike.
Oh,
With Dr.
okay.
Mike
Yeah. Yeah.
Israel, yeah. So
Right.
he did a video interview on the RP Strength channel, right? So
Right.
so I watched that video and then I heard about his story and about playing basketball as a kid and injuring his
Right.
knees very early and then having to build back strength and so on. So, okay, so this guy is not just someone who happens to have extra resilient knees and is showing
Right.
off.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
this is someone who came from pain and from not being able to do stuff and had to
He
recover. And
lived it.
yeah,
Right. Right.
and
Yeah.
that changes the perspective completely, right? Because
Of course. Yeah.
when you think someone is just showing off, you're like, okay, whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't
You're
need
right.
this. I
Absolutely.
don't need this. I
Yeah.
cannot. I cannot like bend my knees, and you're showing me this stuff. I'm like, whatever.
Right. Right. I get that, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, but yeah. So ADG split squats have been great for me. They helped a lot. Again, there as well, I started on the. There is the opposite. I started on the highest step board and then went lower and lower. Now I do
Right.
it on the ground and loaded with weight as well.
Right.
And yeah, I also do a lot of stiff-legged deadlifts.
Yeah. Yeah. Of
Those also help to strengthen from the other side, basically.
course. Yeah.
Uh,
That's awesome,
so
man. That's cool. Yeah. I was really curious about that. What are you working on now? Do you have any goals that you're working on currently?
yeah, yeah.
I
So
saw you're doing some coaching, right? Some online coaching.
yes, so I've just
Yeah.
started coaching, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Um, I already have a few first clients with I'm working with,
That's
so
awesome, man.
yeah, so that's cool, and I'm definitely hope to give them the best guidance I can for their goals. And for myself, I am basically working mostly on body composition. And my main goal for this year is basically to get to a waist which is less than half of my height. And that for me would be about 34 inches. So at the moment, I'm at around 38, 39, something like that. So
Sorry,
I'm
Leo, can you say that one more time? It cut
yeah,
out
sure.
really, really
It
quick. I
can,
heard the waist size.
yes, yes. So I'm basically trying to get to a point where my waist is less than half of my height, right? And that for me would be around 34
Oh,
inches.
I see. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so right now I'm at about 38, 39, something like that.
I
But I'm
see.
not looking to change my weight a ton. So I'm basically really trying to build a lot of muscle to replace the fat as much as I can.
Sure. Like a recomp,
Uh,
so to speak, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So that's what I'm working on right now. So yeah. So right now at my highest I was at around 463. At my lowest I got to 193. At the moment I weigh around 225.
Right.
And so I'm working on recomposition at this weight right now. And recomping at this weight is similar to a bulk in a way because you're at quite high calories, and
Yes, sir.
even though you're not gaining weight, it's still you have the energy you need to build muscle, so
Right. Right.
it's different recomping at like 180, you know.
Right. Definitely. Yeah.
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 So yeah, so that's basically what I'm working on, and we'll see. Uh, Probably in 2027, I will probably try to do like a fake prep, a trial prep,
Oh, okay. Okay.
to see what it looks and feels like to try to get below 10% fat.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet right now, but I might want to try to enter a competition at some point, a bodybuilding competition, and yeah, not
That would
because I
be
think.
awesome, man.
Yeah, not because I
Yeah.
think I would win, but because I just for the challenge, right? So
Yeah, the experience, yeah, and pursuing something difficult, right? Man, that is
yeah,
awesome. I love that for you, man. That is so cool.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. So
Yeah.
yeah, pushing myself to do hard things, it has basically never really served me wrong. I feel at my best when I'm doing difficult things, and I kind of I'm not motivated when I'm trying to do something which I feel is too easy. And I
Easy.
mean, maybe
Yeah.
it sounds cocky, maybe sorry, but it's
Right.
but
No,
it's the
I
way
get that, definitely. Yeah.
my mind operates, I guess. Yeah,
You have to have something that you're striving for and something that is not easy to do, right? Something
yeah,
that is truly difficult to prove to yourself that you can do it. I get it,
yeah,
man. I get
yeah,
it. I'm the same way. Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, I mean, and on the yeah, on the personal side, we've talked about it. I still have my dreams of building a family and all of that stuff, and it is really important to me actually. But of course, there is not as much in my control completely.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So it's more like all I can do is keep working on being the man I want to be, right? So
Of course. Of course.
I have this kind of checklist of four main points of being physically strong, mentally strong, financially stable, and emotionally stable. And so those are the four things I'm working on several aspects basically. And yeah, exactly for what you're saying. I want my future kids to have the best example they can have. I know that they will do what I do and know what I say, and so I want to be ready when the day comes. I want to be in the best position I can be, so that I can never guarantee how their potential future life will go,
Yes, sir.
but I do know that I can guarantee that I give them the best, uh, s- yeah, the best situation that I can from my side, the best preparation, I guess, for life in a way.
Of course. Of course. Yes, sir.
The better they are uh, prepared in a way, the better they will be
Yes,
able
sir.
to handle life, and then they will decide themselves what they want to do with it. But yeah, it's
Yes,
yeah,
sir. This is a tough world, and they're going to face some challenges along the way. And, I always think that one day my kids will look back and think of me and how I did difficult things, regardless of how I felt or anything like that. I did it anyways, right? And that's the best thing that we can provide them is a good example of those things. So,
yeah, amazing, amazing. So, is there anything else that you would like to either add from your side or ask me? Or
I don't think so. Nothing that I can think of. Uh, I saw today, and I guess in Sweden it's above freezing now, right? I saw that you're getting out, and
yes, yes. So it's
I saw
right.
you posted on Instagram. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's a bit slushy outside.
right. But I saw you
uh,
still got out there anyways and got it done, man. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So it's but yeah. So I I might be exaggerating, but it feels like this is one of the very few days above freezing in a few months now, in a couple of months. Yeah.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah.
Wow. Oh man,
Yeah.
here, man, we had a little snow and ice storm a couple of weeks ago, and people just lose their mind, right? We get a little bit of snow, and everybody goes to the store and panics and buys all the groceries, and
Yeah.
everything closes down.
It's more of a common occurrence here, but still, this is actually the coldest winter in 16 years here.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay. Okay.
So it has been pretty rough. Yeah. We had
Sure.
a few weeks ago, we had some kind of Russian wind that came in, and it was
Oh man.
really
Right.
hard.
Right.
I'm normally out in all kinds of weather, but a few weeks ago it was like, yeah, I was out for a couple of hours, and then I need to go home and warm myself. It
Time
was
to get home. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
so yeah, it
Well,
is what it
awesome, man.
is.
Of course. Well, thank you for having me, Leo. Man, it's been an honor. I think so much of you. I think so highly of you. It was really, really cool to talk to you.
Thank you so much for that, and and you are doing an amazing job. I mean, I'm following your reels and what you're sharing, and I think your insights are super helpful for people. So I do hope that more people follow you and find you. So for anyone who's hearing this, at xfatguy41 on Instagram is the guy to follow.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
No worries, no worries. So, thanks again, and thanks for everyone for watching and listening. And I'll talk to you soon again, hopefully.
All right, my friend. I appreciate it, man.
All right. Okay.
All
Bye.
right. Take care, Leo.
You too. Bye.